And welcome back to the studio, everyone. And that was a fantastic innovation talk from Liz, Danny, and Sachin. And it's absolutely clear that applications are right at the center of everything we do, whether it's working, whether it's in our normal day-to-day lives. And at Cisco, it's our job to empower our customers, to really empower their customers. And I think it's clear from that talk, it's all about customer experience. It's also fantastic to see the deep integrations that we have with the public cloud providers like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Now, we're going to throw it out to Steve, who I hear is at the innovation stage.
I am. I'm in the hot spot right now. Good to hear from you, my friend. I miss you. You and I haven't had a chance to play together all day long, so if you can still hear me out there.
Steve.
Well, that's all right. We saw each other in a place that we're not going to talk about right now, but we'll be back together shortly, back in the studio. All right, so let's talk about what's going on behind us. As Zane just said, and as you just saw, we wrapped up the 12 o'clock innovation talk with the hardest working dream team here at the show. Liz Santoni, our Senior VP, GM of Cloud, Danny Winokur, VP GM of App Dynamics, so much about AppD, Sachin Gupta. We always love hearing from Sachin, our Senior VP Product and Intent-Based Networking Group lead. And they were talking about how do we build that bridge to the multi-cloud. How do we power this new application revolution that we are all finding ourselves in today? Really inspiring talk. During yesterday's keynote, Liz delivered what I think may be my very favorite line of the conference so far. Liz started out, she opened up by saying that what we do here at Cisco is not just about delivering technology, it is about trust. It's about integrity. It's about honesty in our partnerships and our service delivery so that we can offer that really positive customer experience at all times for economic value, societal value. I think trust has become the word of this show. Also yesterday, for those of you who are watching, I had an opportunity to talk with our own Ben Monroe. It's always great, but also with Michael Jenkins. He was he's a CISO at Brunel University. He said something that tied directly back to what Liz said. He said, I was looking for a critical friend that I could trust to help me develop what it is that I had in mind. And he felt that that critical friend is Cisco. Again, it comes down to trust, and I absolutely love that. Let's kind of walk this way. We are deeply proud of that trust piece. So, here in the innovation talk, Liz made a really good distinction between multi-cloud and hybrid. There's a lot that's thrown around with regards to those words. We hear frequently about what's going on in the multi-cloud world, what's going on in the hybrid world. They are distinct. She talked about consistency. Consistency is so important to all of our customers. Consistent, positive customer experiences. Consistent outreach to all of our partners. It's a story that carries across all of these different onboarding applications that we've been discussing here at the event all day yesterday and today. All the new launches happening out there. Now, I want to tell you about some of the other great innovation talks that are coming up over the course of the day. We're going to put them up in a sidebar here on the screen. We want to make sure you don't miss out on any of what's taking place. At 2 o'clock here this afternoon, Spain time, we're going to have Michael Beasley. He is our VP CTO of Service Provider Network. And Michael is going to talk about how we transform your IP infrastructure and how you can lead market disruption. We're going to spend a lot of time on service provider this afternoon. At 2:45 today, we've got our very own Todd Nightingale, straight out of Meraki. He's our Senior VP and GM of Meraki. Todd will be here in the Innovation Theater to talk about how we keep things simple. How do we create smarter, simpler solutions for the digital workspace? You're not going to want to miss it. At 3:45 this afternoon, local time, Barcelona, we'll talk about digital transformation with Thomas Scheib. He's our VP here at Cisco. Specifically, we'll talk about application deployment and infrastructure automation and assurance. You will not want to miss it. It's a big theme of this year's show. We're going to wrap it up today with Alistair Wildman. 4:30 this afternoon. Alistair is our head of customer experience here in EMEAR, and you heard him yesterday morning during the keynote. Today, though, he's going to be here in the Innovation Talk Theater, and he's going to talk about how we improve that customer experience using innovative technology. CX has got such a great booth. It's directly across. I'm looking right at it. Maybe one of the most crowded areas here at the show. But earlier today, back in the studio, I had the chance to interview Phil Wolfenden, VP of Customer Experience Centers right here in EMEAR. He is a 20-year veteran with customer service and customer experience, and he agreed CX has so come into its own. It's in a great new era. It's right out front now as part of our Cisco platform. That's very exciting. So again, Alistair right here today at 4:30. So we're going to wrap it up back here in the Innovation Talks. For now, we'll see you back here at 2 o'clock. And right now, Zane, I'm going to go back to you in the studio, and I'm going to come and track you down.
Hi, Steve. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, I've not seen you all day. Get yourself back here.
I'm sorry. I'm going now. I'm going now.
See you soon, Steve. So, guys, we're back here in the studio and have two very, very special guests. I have Todd Brannan and Fabio Gori. Gentlemen, can you introduce yourselves?
Great to be with you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Fabio Gori, I'm a Senior Director of Cloud Marketing at Cisco.
And Todd Brannan, Senior Director of Computing Marketing here at Cisco.
Fantastic, guys. It's great to have you here, so thanks very much for your time. So, Todd, my first question goes out to you. We heard some big announcements there from Cisco. Can you give us a quick recap about what's been announced and with the unique experiences that this will bring to our customers?
So I think what we're talking about here is bridging things, right? That's what Cisco's good at, and it's really in three key domains where we're going to build some bridges. The first is the teams that are concerned with applications and the teams that are concerned with infrastructure. How do we bridge those worlds, give them common tooling, common vocabulary to do their job better, all in the interest of these application experiences? Second area is really the domain that presents when you start talking about hybrid applications. And these are ones where you have a component out in the public cloud, a lot of that innovation going on there, but data gravity, you heard Liz talk about it, it's real. You're going to have all these components on-prem, and they have to talk to each other. So how do we bridge those domains? And then finally, as Fabio well knows, right, containers. They're becoming the platform for innovation on-prem and in the cloud. So how do we bridge that container environment and close that gap? So it's all about building bridges, those three key domains right there.
Yeah, and I think that is the key theme here. It's all about building bridges. Fabio, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I would say Todd is spot on. I would like to mark the importance of the business transaction that we're seeing, right? I mean, we've been talking about digital transformation forever. The fact of the matter is this means building new apps as fast as you possibly can. How fast? Faster than your competitor. Because if you're not faster than your competitor, you're going to get beat up in the marketplace. And oh, by the way, you need to deliver amazing experiences. So as Todd said, I think the biggest news that we're seeing in the last 2 or 3 years is this collapsing of the application domain and the infrastructure domain. Why? Because you cannot live in a world where to give a development environment to a developer, you need to open 5 trouble tickets. And that's a guy who provisions a server, another guy that gives you an IP address, another guy that gives you an ACL entry into the firewall. That world has to go. The infrastructure needs to behave as a service, and to this extent, it's the cloud that set the bar extremely high. Yep. And so what we're doing is investing, of course, to bring all this innovation into the on-prem environment and make the on-prem environment looking like cloud, hence the private cloud terminology. That's critical. So it's about speed and innovation. Otherwise, it's not just your IT department doesn't perform, it's the company that doesn't perform.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I think just to touch on that, you spoke about experiences, and I think that's a common theme here. Experiences really is the number one thing. So why is it important then to link, what the customers are experiencing through the application to the underlying infrastructure?
Well, I would say this is where really the cloud component comes into play. And I think we heard Sachin talking about the networking domain. The other key domain is security. So when you think about it, to glue up this two environment, you really need to have this consistent set of capabilities. Imagine not having those. It means that you have to import like a networking model and a security model, which are different across the various providers. That creates madness on-prem because it goes over and above an already established set of capability and silo that exist on-prem. So normally what we're hearing from our customers is, hey Cisco, can you help me expanding what I have actually to the public cloud? So then I have a consistent experience, because otherwise your OpEx will explode, your complexity, the ability to troubleshoot will explode. And so we're seeing these 3 big components, networking, security, application workload management, really in high demand right now across this big hybrid domain.
Yeah, totally. Now, we've spoke about complexity, we've spoke about data center infrastructure, we also mentioned containers. So Todd, when it comes to containers, what are the biggest challenges you're seeing our customers facing, and how could HyperFlex really help them overcome these challenges?
Well, what we're seeing is, containers have been and have emerged from the developer community over time. But we're seeing the trend now where as workloads are being either refactored or we're seeing all this innovation going on, it's becoming a mainstream platform. And that means it's coming in and becoming the responsibility of the mainstream core IT teams. It's part of their day job now. And how do we help them bring up these new container stacks in a way that doesn't add new silos of complexity, new silos of infrastructure, new silos of operational technology. How can we deliver that? So with HyperFlex, what we're doing, we already support your applications that are virtualized. Now we can do bare metal Kubernetes right on top of it. And more than that, we're going to kind of demystify the stack, and I'm going to throw a marketing term out here. We're going to democratize Kubernetes, right? So it's all about, you know, when you think about, Liz touched on it a little bit, there's a lot of components that have to come together, right? All the operating systems, libraries, packages, all the patches, all that has to come together. We're going to curate that for customers, and then we're going to blast that down from the cloud with Intersight onto those hyper-converged clusters. So it's making it, to your point, Fabio, much more of a cloud-like experience, but on-prem. And then the connection to that, creating a consistent environment out to the public cloud, which is everything that you've been.
And you know why
really
I
leading.
like your word democratize? Because ultimately, when we speak to customers, we're hearing that they want freedom. Freedom of what? Freedom of developing and deploying whatever they want. And that's actually the biggest benefit of containerization alongside scalability and portability, is the fact that you can develop, say, in the public cloud, and all this costly, you know, dev testing environment that can actually be just spun up and spun down at will. What you have is that you can use all your favorite tools, and then once you containerize this up, you can deploy it in the data center, you can deploy it at the edge. Based on what? Based on your specific business KPIs, your performance targets, your cost targets, your compliance targets. That kind of freedom is the ultimate nirvana for IT teams.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I'm really excited about what the future holds for Cisco and multi-cloud. I'd just like to thank you guys for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now, if you are sitting at home and you're excited about this, as excited as what I am, and I'm sure you are, and you want to find out more, you can go and find out more from our sales representatives, and all you have to do is go to cisco.com/go/sales. Now we're going to switch over to the Cisco Small Business and see what was going on earlier in the week.